Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
26 Hardware and Garden Stores. We'll see you in the stores for your Scott's 4-step fertilizer program.
And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
Yep. Yeah, we're starting. Gotta turn on your mic.
Back, and we had to talk about some very important items.
Mm-hmm. Did you read the piece today on Sergio, speaking of the golf tournament you're watching? How Sergio's like this big Texas guy now, because he married the gal from Austin, Texas, and he's
won here, hasn't he?
He's won here, and that's another thing. So he's like the big Mr. Texas guy.
And this is the Texas Valero Open in San Antonio. I just turned on the 55-inch TCL
Ooh, is that
television.
A nice television set, man, alive. And looks like they got a nice day there in San Antonio.
Which is Pop losing his wife last night, yesterday.
Well, you got to like a guy who didn't tell anybody nothing that was going on with the family. Apparently, the guys from the San Antonio News Express were aware of it, and a couple other guys, but also sworn to secrecy on it. And it just came out of the blue. 67 years old.
She must have had the cancer.
I believe, she must have had the bad cancer. They said she'd been sick for a while, but I think the best, was it Kevin Durant who sent out the tweet saying, it was Klay Thompson, Michael Thompson's son. He said, I never really had a conversation with Pop, but she had to be a great lady to put up with Pop. Mm-hmm. But he does seem like a hell of a, for his own. He puts up that front, but he seems like the family man type and all that stuff, as much as a crazy NBA guy can be. So
he's not going to be in the.
He's not coaching tonight.
They're down 2-0, aren't they?
Yes, they're overmatched because their best player has basically refused to play this year because he's had a hamstring problem or something. Kawhi Leonard, it's one of the weirdest things. If this was happening with any other team except one with a coach as well respected as him, it would be like, what the hell is going on? Mm-hmm. But, he's just refused pretty much to give any information on it. But the guy, his teammates have given up on him. He just refuses to play because he's going to be a free agent, I guess.
What's the deal with our guy and the migraines?
Buck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
Did he have them last year?
Last year he had 1 or 2 days, but I never knew they were an ongoing problem until this time. And I don't know. They say that they put him on the DL back to what? You can only backdate it 3 days, I think. So he can play by the time they get to New York if he's okay, but they're not flying him home or anything to go to the Mayo Clinic or something. I don't know what's going on. So, but it's
nice victory last night.
You really made it to the 14th?
I did 14.
I cannot believe that.
Honestly, 14 was done before 10:30.
Yeah, well, if the game would have ended at 9, it would have been fantastic how fast it would have been.
But I was glad they got it because Berrios had a hell of an outing, I thought.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah.
Everybody was upset that they hooked him after 7.
I was.
And part of the explanation was he wanted to get his bullpen some work because nobody pitched since last Thursday.
Played.
Well, he got the bullpen some work. You got 8 innings. He got to use them all except Tyler Kinley, who's the Rule 5 guy that they won't use. So when it's a close game.
Do we know if they got off the island?
Yes, last night they got out. They got enough power to get the airport. I just wonder if you're a Puerto Rican who's not a baseball fan, if you really wonder if Is this where we should be using all our
Wait a
light?
minute. I can't even make toast.
Yeah, right. Should we be using, as somebody said on Twitter, we weren't going to leave, those teams weren't going to stop playing until they'd use every last gallon of gasoline on the island to run the generators for to keep the game going.
My toaster hasn't been plugged in since September.
Yeah, but boy,
We just played 16 innings
Yeah.
and then hurried the generators. We shifted them over to the airport and plugged
we
them
got
in.
the boys out last night, and the ball riders got out today. From what I know,
On commercial flights?
Yeah, the planes were some planes were flying, I guess. So they got. I suppose the problem was all the ones who didn't get in yesterday, you had to sit around and wait for. You know.
Well, we do know they'll get the games in Tampa.
Yes, they're in good shape, and then they're going to Yankee Stadium, and by then, with the weather turning tolerable here, they should be fine on the East Coast by now, shouldn't they?
I have no
I would
idea.
think so. I don't know.
But at some point, doesn't
Sounds
spring
like
have to
what
win?
I like the best is everything you see in the next 5 or 6 days says sunshine. Mm-hmm. I don't care about if it's 55 or 65 or 62. I don't care about that. I
just want sunlight.
sunshine.
All right.
Yes.
I just want no snow.
Yes. Well, generally speaking, sunshine dictates no snow.
This is true.
I'll tell you who else wants sunshine and melting is those birds that are whistling out there in the yards, man. They got to be saying, come on, show me something I can eat here.
Every time I throw them some food,
Yeah.
it sinks in the snow.
They're going to have a,
I might have to walk it out.
I tell you, last year I felt a couple winters ago we had the bad winter and the robins were out there and they were scrounging, and I went and got birdseed, big bag of birdseed,
The giant bag?
and boy, well, at least 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Boy, did the squirrels enjoy that.
I bet
They were
they did.
very happy.
Yeah,
the
they really go
squirrels
after that.
enjoyed
What
that.
is bird seed? What's in it?
sunflower seeds,
Oh,
other
can
But
humans eat it?
seeds.
it's nothing that
I don't know.
I've never considered it. I don't know.
I think it's just easier to go buy some sunflower seeds or pistachios.
Right.
I've never been that desperate.
Yeah, you couldn't throw them, salt and peppered pistachios.
Right,
Because they
right.
couldn't get
They
them
wouldn't.
open.
The squirrels
But
are talking about
squirrels, the squirrels would like
But the absence of crows continues. It's been about 5 weeks I haven't seen a crow. I don't know why. I don't know where they are.
We
I've
have
seen other
confused birds and confused tulips.
We had something was dead on was it Douglas? Yeah, I think on Douglas the other day, and we had a flock of them. Mm-hmm. They were hungry, man. They all wanted to eat part of that dead.
I had the
animal.
bird whisper yesterday.
Oh, okay.
A
Who
little guy flew right into the window
really?
and turned around and went, "Oh, damn, that hurt." And then he sat down.
Okay.
And I went outside and I said, come on, fly away.
You have
What
the
was
musical
it?
notes around his
Fly
head?
away, had the notes above his head.
Yeah, the stars.
And all of a sudden, he kind of looked at me and he said, yeah, all right, I'll give it a shot. He took off.
What was it? What kind of a bird?
Whatever those little ones are.
Oh, really? Okay.
You got anything in a light tumbler? He said he can bring out for me. Just take off the edge.
Sometimes you got to pick them up and launch them. This guy did. I was going to wait. This guy didn't need that.
We don't get that many. Our picture window isn't that large, so we don't get many. Now, if I get one and he dies, then I take him down to the dome and throw him on the front steps down in front of the dome. Take him. You got to carry him over.
If you get one that dies, all you
Dies.
got to do is put it out by the curb. Some fox will come along and take it.
You know, your worst infraction on that, Patrick, was, I don't remember if it was a year ago or two, but you took a picture of a dead bird in our parking lot and said, look at the Ziggy claims
Take
another.
one. I was walking down, for some reason, I was walking downtown a couple of years ago, and it was freezing. I mean, why I was outside instead of the skyway, I don't know, but there was one that basically had frozen to death laying there, and I took that picture and said, thanks a lot, Ziggy. There was a nice bird. It was like a robin or something.
Explain the Houston Rockets to me when we come back.
Okay.
I got a big one.
All right, you
was it
made
yesterday?
yourself a note. Yes.
Was it yesterday that the bidet came up on this show?
We had a hard-hitting bidet conversation.
I got a text from a friend of mine who was listening, and he said his wife wanted a bidet. Mm-hmm. He told her to do a handstand in the shower.
Put him bump.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's one way of doing it.
That's how he handled it.
Yes.
Tell me about the Houston Rockets.
Well, they shot 36% last night and still beat our Mutts by 20. Mm-hmm. They James Harden, the best player in the league, who was unstoppable in Game 1, was 2 for 18.
I don't understand how that
He'll
happens.
never be 2 for 18 as long as he lives again, and they still got beat by 20. Mm-hmm. They're a complete mess right now, and the coach gave up on them, and basically the bench. The second five played 116 minutes, and the starters played 84 minutes. He was sick of watching Butler and especially Towns and Wiggins. So
were they not giving it their all?
Well, they just didn't seem to be able to do anything. I'm not sure because I don't think it's because you weren't trying. I think you just had bad nights. Now Towns has had 2 in a row.
They're
Towns
here Saturday
cannot-
night, 6:30.
Yeah, and they'll give you the playoff introduction, smoke and noise and everything, except everybody knows they're going to get swept in 4 games, so it kind of takes the fun out of it. So just introduce everybody and go out and play, see what happens. But yeah, they're just. I've broken it down and I've figured out what the problem is. Houston's better than they are.
Well, that's
by
always
a
been your theory.
significant amount.
That's always been your theory about basketball. Mm-hmm. The better team wins.
Yes.
And it's your
Damn near
theory
all
that
the
that's
time.
not true in other sports.
Well, hockey, certainly you have a chance. If you're 80% as good as the other team,
Well,
you got to.
I'm not sure the Wild are 80% as good as Winnipeg.
No, but you have a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, Dwayne Rollison took a team to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yep, Rolly the goalie.
Rolly the goalie got on a crazy streak for 2 months, stopped everything, and took Edmonton, an 8 seed, to the NHL Finals. That ain't happening in basketball.
Okay, I got a question. Is that in 2003? Was that as deep as the Wild have ever gone in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's their only conference final.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they've been to the second round twice since the Suter-Parisi era. They've been in the second round twice. They beat Colorado in the first round and St. Louis in the first round, right? Mm-hmm. And so...
Then who'd they beat in the second round?
Nobody.
Oh, they've only made it to the second round
yeah.
twice.
The Blackhawks beat them both times.
In the Suter-Parisi era.
Yes.
That's pathetic.
Not really.
Not
They
when you're
made
paying him what he's paying him.
Yeah. Well, listen. Don't feel sorry for Leopold. 106% of capacity since he signed those two guys.
I know.
I heard some guy say, a piece of pizza and a Coke, $16.
Really?
Don't feel sorry for him. It's been a great business investment, those two guys, and they've made the playoffs 6 straight years. Mm-hmm. There's only 3 teams: them, Pittsburgh, and Anaheim, I think. And Anaheim. Did you see that the Anaheim and the Kings, both in the playoffs, both get swept? Mm-hmm. Scored a total between them. I saw this in Wicker. 7 goals.
Well, how about
7
Vegas?
goals in 8 games.
Vegas winning 4 straight by 1-goal margins, including in overtime. Mm-hmm. 4 straight by 1-goal margins.
At least 2 of them were 1-0,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
It's too hard to score, man.
I want to read a big. Why hasn't somebody done a big spread on Vegas? Tell me about it. What's going on here?
I'm trying to get a hold of Norm Clark right now to have him on today to talk about their entertainment guy out there, the nightlife guy, to see how much Knights fever there is around town.
It's got to be incredible.
Yeah, the first time is always fun, and this is the first year.
There's not a reason to believe they can't win the cup. Not a reason to believe they can't.
They will not win the cup. They will lose to the Sharks in the second round. I think they're playing the Sharks. But then again, I was convinced they would lose to the Kings.
I'm willing to make that interesting.
Don't, Patrick, don't.
I'm willing to make that interesting. Mm-hmm. Just a minute. Vegas defeats Los Angeles 4-game zip. Did the San Jose's win last night?
Yep, another sweep.
All right. So they play each other. I got $1 that says Vegas won't get beat by the Sharks.
All right.
$1? That's not interesting at all.
Well, you're not supposed to gamble.
That means $100, right?
It means $1,000.
Okay, good.
An ace.
Good.
Bet you an ace. That's
$100,000.
That's 100.
The reason they're doing so good is because the rules were broken in order to create that team. That's just the way
Well, they
it
gave
is.
them $500 million, so they gave
And all
them
the best players in the league.
No, you could only protect 11 though, so they didn't give them all.
Who'd
the
they
best
get
players
from
in the
us? They
league.
got Holla.
Holla and Tuck, the kid, the prospect,
Who's played well.
Yes, they did this, but we traded with them to prevent them from taking either Dumba or Brodeen. Mm-hmm. They didn't want to lose Dumba or Brodeen, so they made this trade with them.
Was Tuck his nickname in high school?
Tuch.
Okay.
I think it's Tuck.
Let's not explain that one to Joe again.
No.
It was hard enough the first time.
No,
Don't look at me like that, Such, like you want me to explain.
Right,
I'm not
right.
explaining.
Holla had 29 goals for them this year. Yeah, good year.
Giving me that confused look.
Baby, don't give me that look.
In fact, I saw the Las Vegas Review-Journal send out a little questionnaire on Twitter for their Twitter followers. Mm-hmm. Who was the MVP of the first round of the playoffs? Fleury, Holla, or some guy I never heard of, William Karlsson? And, of course, Fleury was winning in a landslide. I voted for Holla. But
You think the sports writers at the Las Vegas Review-Journal wear yellow sports coats and funny shoes and leisure suits?
I've known a few of them, and they're just guys, man. There's Vegas that we know, and then there's the guys out in the suburbs that, just live normal lives.
No, you can't live a normal life there. That's not possible.
And who would want
In Las
to?
Vegas to have a normal life?
Right.
You couldn't.
Not that I'm aware of.
You'd have to be involved in the industry somehow.
No, you have to actively be trying to kill yourself like that movie we saw.
Leaving Las Vegas?
Yeah, where you're just there until you're dead.
That was, that movie was mildly depressing.
Nicolas Cage, really? Nicolas Cage, yeah. His only good role, because I knew he was going to die at the end.
Gave me the willies.
The swimming pool scene with Elizabeth Shue was acceptable, but beyond that, it was pretty depressing.
Okay, let's change this subject. Because I agree with you. It was mildly depressing.
And it was biographical, too, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, not of Nicolas Cage.
No,
bad,
but a screenwriter that basically wanted to drink himself to death.
Apparently, Nicolas Cage
Was in Puerto Rico.
has money problems.
He was in Puerto Rico. Eddie Escobar got a picture next to him, next to the sea.
You go down there for the ball games?
No, I think he might have been down there for the I don't know, the stuff you can smoke.
Why do you say that? Has he been selling a bunch of stuff or something?
Yeah, he's selling all this weird stuff he owns. Castles and
Oh, really?
cars and what have you. Sports Talk will be back in just a moment, but now thanks to our great friends in Owatonna, Minnesota at Federated Insurance, where it's their business to protect your business, and nobody does that better than Federated. It's Bruce Vail from the Wall Street Journal and Your Money Now.
I found that movie to be highly unrealistic because Elizabeth Shue is just so attractive. Whenever I look for a prostitute in Las Vegas, they're never like that.
They look like me, right? They got a 6-month beard going.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Consumer staple stocks moved lower today, and that helped pull the broader market down after 3 mostly positive sessions. The Dow Jones Industrial Average did lose a bit of ground yesterday and then fell 83 points today, closing at 24,664. The Nasdaq Composite lost 57 points, and the S&P 500 fell 15. When it comes to putting solar on corporate rooftops, retailers Target and Walmart are leading the way. According to a report from the Solar Energy Industries Association, Target now has 205 megawatts of solar capacity installed on site. Walmart has nearly 150 megawatts. Target's goal is to have rooftop solar panels on 500 buildings by 2020. Americans are keeping plastic surgeons busy. Cosmetic surgery procedures jumped 11% last year, and patients shelled out more than $6.5 billion to combat drooping eyelids and other perceived imperfections. trends. Opinions vary on what is driving the boom. Some say it's a constant need to be selfie ready. Others have blamed Skype for making people more appearance conscious. Another factor may be age discrimination in the workplace and the need to look younger to compete with younger job applicants. And just to be clear, when I look for prostitutes in Las Vegas, it's for a friend of mine.
Right.
I'm Bruce Vail with your money now on 1500 ESPN.
We thank you very much. We'll cut you loose and say this segment sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
All right. Yeah.
Good choice.
This is Howlin' For You, baby, by the Black Keys.
Yeah, I never want to hear it again.
Ever.
Didn't they used to play this for goals or something?
No, that was Gary Glitter.
Okay. Yeah.
Until I discovered he was a child
Yeah,
molester.
but what the
Yeah,
hell does
that
that
one,
have to do with goal scoring songs? I think they overreacted.
Well,
Patrick Royce being provocative.
No, I mean, everybody says, okay, they play a goal scoring song, and the guy ran into some difficulties later in life.
Ran into some difficulties. Like to visit Thailand, as they say.
Yes.
Wow. It's sunny and 50
Here's John
degrees.
Haidt.
Well, thanks, Joe. I was kind of waiting, but I wasn't sure, so I thought I'd just barrel on ahead there.
well, it's the first time you've ever done that.
It's sunny and 50 degrees. Twins with the day off. They'll open up a 3-game series against the Rays in Florida tomorrow.
That wasn't enough of a forecast, Johnny.
That wasn't a forecast. That was just a temp.
Oh, you're not going any further until I get this out.
Last time it was 50 was when, Johnny? Do we know?
Clear in 28 tonight, 52 tomorrow, 56 on Saturday, 60 on Sunday, and all of next week. It's 50 now.
All right.
That's how you do that.
That's
Spread the optimism is what I'm saying. Spring is finally here.
There's too much snow on the ground.
Joe was in there whining about it not melting.
I don't think it's
earlier
melting in a significant way.
It's going. Yeah, it'll be gone.
Twins will be in Florida tomorrow.
So doom and gloom.
That's terrible.
It's nice out.
Just terrible.
After last night's 16-inning win over Cleveland and Puerto Rico, the Twins are 8-5 in first place in the American League Central, half game ahead of Cleveland.
Boy, at those games, they like to dance and shake their moneymakers.
They do.
Go crazy.
Although, with all the craziness for them, they're just like us. They all bailed after about 10 innings. They said, the hell with this.
Did you have the volume turned up? Were you able to tolerate the announcers?
They weren't my cup of
my
tea.
guy Timmy is one of
Which
them.
one
so
was
we gotta
Tim?
listen to Tim. Tim was the third.
You don't like
guy.
Eduardo Perez?
I didn't like any of those announcers. They really, really made me miss Dick and Circle Me Bert.
Oh, my God.
Really?
Yep, I miss Dick and Circle Me Bert.
Hey, I got Joe Mauer some pub though. I texted Timmy at noon and said it is now Joe Mauer's birthday, and he threw that in at the end because Joe.
There you go.
Joe got a year older during the game.
Reavers had the great line. That game took so long.
How long?
Joe Mauer went from the age of 34
That's
to
right.
35.
Yes, he did.
It's clever stuff.
What time?
Are you here by circle?
What time zone was San Juan?
Eastern.
Getting ready for the release
That
of
was pretty good.
At
Chris.
one point, the Twins put two people on base, and they didn't mention it at all. They were so busy talking to some yahoo on the phone, and then some other dummy, and it looks like the game was secondary.
So you can't follow a baseball game, Kenny?
Well,
Is
one
that
of
what
those
you're saying?
morons was drinking a pina colada.
No, they were joking about it.
Oh, my God.
Then he held the umbrella up over his head, the little pina colada
So,
umbrella.
yeah, he was lampshade time.
Yeah.
He was hammered. Is what
That's
you're saying.
Tony Perez's son,
Eduardo. You guys just
This was a guy with no accent.
Tim Kurt. That was Tim.
Tim.
Tim is the little white guy?
Yeah,
Yes.
in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the black guy?
That,
Eduardo Perez is Cuban.
I'm not judging these guys on size or color. I just think they were boring and dumb.
Okay, well.
Is week 6 too
Noted,
early for
Kenny.
a bye week? You guys think week 6?
still working on that, are you?
I got a mock to put together here.
Well, I was just going to mention that, too. We're getting ready for the release of the NFL schedule tonight. Rumors, of course.
Wait a minute. That's released tonight?
That's correct.
2-hour special. You going to watch?
And that's
Hell
what you're
no.
working on over there?
Kenny, I have a job to do.
He has put more work on this schedule
I've
than
never
I've seen him do in months.
Ever.
It's
For
mock-
anything.
It's a mock schedule.
Kenny, I nailed 12 of the 16 games last year.
Oh, well, that just makes my nipples hard.
I can see.
The NFL will release the schedule tonight. Rumors, of course, had the Vikings opening on Philly on the opening Thursday. Looks like
that's not happening.
That may not happen
with the
now.
Dolphins?
The Philadelphia Inquirer is reporting the Eagles will host the Falcons in Week 1, and the Vikings wouldn't travel to Philly until Week 5. We'll have to wait for all this until 7 tonight. Although Mr. Reavers at 5:03.
Will we have it on these airwaves?
Is
tonight the beer show?
Tonight is the beer show, Joe.
Well, are we having the draft show too?
Well, we might discuss it during the beer show.
I mean, is it broadcast
It's not
on
the
this
draft
station?
show.
God,
God.
now the schedule is stupid enough, but they don't do it on radio.
The guy,
Yet.
the guy in there who's telling me to plow ahead won't shut up and has no idea what he's talking about.
You have a point.
News notes from today. 21-year-old Hopkins woman has been charged with unlawful voting after it was determined she voted more than once in the same election.
Ooh, boy, I hope they don't start investigating that.
According to a criminal complaint. According to the complaint, Hani Adan Ahmed registered to vote in Hopkins September 27, 2016. However, she didn't vote in the 2016 election, according to the complaint. But more than a year later, October of 2017, she submitted an absentee ballot for the November 7th election. To submit that ballot, she filed a change of address form to a Minneapolis residence. Her absentee ballot was then signed and submitted. Well, then on November 7th, she did go to a voting location in Precinct 3 where she had registered to vote the year before. She finished a ballot and submitted it. She told authorities she was staying in Minneapolis for some time and told her people working on a campaign in the city told her it was okay.
You know, there's some golf
places.
shots you can see on the shot tracer.
Yeah.
How come it's not at this? Is it a machine you got to bring to the course?
It's more expensive to do it that way. Hey, Johnny.
Yes.
It sounds like she just might be a dummy.
Yeah, John, this is a non-story.
It's interesting.
It's one person being an idiot. Who cares? Stop prosecuting the morons. Just let us get on with our lives.
Oh, my God.
I always counted on
He
those.
says us. Let us.
I always counted on those people in Lydia not knowing I moved 20 years earlier. So.
So you've actually practiced some malfeasance.
Heavens, yes.
Heavens, yes.
Wellstone needed me, man.
Yeah. Senator vote early, vote often. Senator Tammy Duckworth voted on the Senate floor today with her newborn baby cradled in her arms.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Her appearance comes just one day after the Senate voted to allow the babies of its members into the tradition-bound chamber. The inspiration for the historic change of rules was Duckworth's daughter, Maile, born on April 9th.
How do you spell Maile?
Maile.
You're never voting for her.
Foghorn at Rook.
Duckworth wanted to resume voting while on maternity leave, as the Senate requires that votes be cast in person. Although nobody objected, the idea didn't sit easily with some senators in both parties, concerned that babies would disrupt what they called the Senate decorum. Senator Amy Klobuchar says she spent 2 months privately reassuring Republicans and Democrats it wouldn't be a problem. Today, Senator Orrin Hatch told reporters if Senator wants to bring a baby on the floor, I don't have any problem with that.
Pro baby, that's good.
Yes.
As long as they don't stink it up with their baby poop.
How many of us here? Let's take a poll. As Pat says, how many are pro baby? I'm pro baby.
I probably am.
Yes.
Put me there.
Throw you in there? Okay.
After this last week, though, with
These two
mine,
haven't voted over here.
I don't want any more babies.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just saying, in general. Are you pro baby?
I am for other people.
Okay. Yeah, that's a yes then.
You know, one of the greatest documentaries out there is you can still encounter it, that babies one where the little kid growing up in Africa and the outback and a little kid growing up. They got little kids, 5 or 6 of them that they follow.
Is Gene Wilder and Marty Feldman in that?
No, and growing up in completely different environments. It's fantastic. I think the name of it's Babies.
I think you're right.
Sounds like a Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder movie.
Well,
Now
that was
arriving on track 11, 13, 15.
Richard Pryor never made a movie that did his career any good.
Or justice. It didn't do his humor justice.
An apparent headless body that prompted a major police operation in southern Germany
Was that found near a topless bar?
It was turned out to be a doll.
That's one of the New York Daily News greatest headlines.
Yeah.
Headless body found in topless bar.
Police in Baden-Württemberg say a passerby spotted what appeared to be a clothed but headless corpse covered in blood lying by a stream in Remstal near Stuttgart. Officers cordoned off the suspected crime scene and firefighters were called to retrieve the body, which was lying in an inaccessible place. In a statement Tuesday, though, police said that only once firefighters reached the site were they able to figure out it was just a doll.
So somebody was just practicing then.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I guess. Police said a pickup truck came barreling down Wayne Road, this is in Pennsylvania, and plowed into vehicles. After the crash, the driver got out of the pickup truck and got naked, according to police. Stripped off all his clothes and started dancing in the street.
That'd almost be worth getting hit in a car, have a car or truck hit you just to see what the hell was going to happen next.
Witness Ghazi Khalaf said the man threw off all of his clothes and just kept saying, I'm fine, while he was dancing. He tried eventually to run away, but the cops got him, kneeled in handcuffs, and then he got taken away. He's still in custody as police try to figure out why he was acting.
So what do we use
erratic.
now to do our LSD?
He was either on the Molly or the X, huh? Don't you think? That doesn't sound like acid.
He was on the dope, I think.
He was on the dope.
Yeah, that reefer madness.
Lock your doors, kids. They're on the dope. Oh, you're not going to believe this.
Yes, I am. I just gave him the money.
You're not going to believe.
I mean, he gave me money.
This has been going. This is day 2 of this, Matthew.
This is day 2. Yeah, I had to.
There's a big argument off the air about Matt and $5 bills and blah blah blah, and it's all uninteresting until we find out he's taking the train to what, downtown St. Paul.
Then what do you do? Walk home from there?
I took the train,
and then you hop on a bus.
She dropped me off at the light rail station today. I said, you don't need to drive me all the way. I'll go. I'll read the paper. I'll drive into, and it drops me off right here at Westgate.
She's got a boyfriend, doesn't she?
She was very eager to drop me off. Yeah,
you're being cuckolded, aren't
you? No, and so I just said, there's no reason for you to drive in and drive back. I'll hop on light rail.
That means you're hiding something. If you're doing that means you're the person hiding something.
And then I'll hop on the bus and go right home.
Yeah. Good.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I think that's a problem solver.
I have never ridden on a city bus in the Twin Cities. Never.
Really?
Never in my entire life.
I did. The only time I've been on a city bus was our first All-Star game. What was that, 84, 85?
85.
The first and last time I was on a city bus.
The train, I don't mind.
I've ridden the train.
The train's easy.
Yeah, and it's free.
Yeah, it might as well be.
I look down on my luck enough that they don't ask me if I have a ticket.
Yeah, don't worry about him.
The best thing to do is when they come in looking for tickets, you just kind of start singing.
Or pee your pants.
You look like you're crazy?
Yeah. You just start singing. Oh, McDonald, something.
I have 4 raw eggs in my pocket.
Either.
I'll walk right by you.
An eccentric art dealer who claims to have hidden treasure worth millions of dollars in the Rocky Mountains says 350,000 people have tried and failed to find the riches. You've probably heard of this guy, 87-year-old Forrest Fenn.
Yep.
He warned it could be 1,000 years from now before hunters discover the whereabouts of the chest filled with gold nuggets and precious gems. Revealed in 2010, he had concealed the bounty somewhere in the 3,000-mile mountain range, and in a subsequent memoir, he published a map and a poem said to contain 9 clues about the location. So far,
what a jackass.
None of this is true.
Mr. Fenn's a former U.S. Air Force pilot and art gallery owner. He says he's bombarded with hundreds of emails a day from people fishing for clues. He estimates as many as 350,000 people have gone looking for it. Mr. Fenn, whose gallery in the New Mexico city of Santa Fe attracted frequent visits from celebrities in the 70s and 80s, initially planned to bury himself with the treasure when he was diagnosed with cancer in 1988. But he recovered. After that, he conceived the treasure hunt and dropped clues in a 24-line poem in his self-published memoir, The Thrill of the Chase.
You'd think someone would abduct him and threaten his life.
Beat it out of him.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys are really nice.
I'm not recommending it, but I'm just thinking.
Sometimes it works.
There's some people out there who would probably do it.
Police, though, they have some problem with this. They say Mr. Fenn is putting lives at risk after fatal accidents involving treasure seekers. Last July, the body of 31-year-old Eric Ashby was pulled from Colorado's Arkansas River after his raft overturned. His family said he had moved to the state a year earlier to look for the bounty.
No.
3 other deaths have been linked to the search for the treasure also. The art dealer responded by revealing additional clues on the blog. He wrote, "The treasure chest is not underwater, nor is it near the Rio Grande River. It is not necessary to move large rocks or climb up or down a steep precipice, and it's not under a man-made
It's like the medallion. Like looking for the medallion.
Put some of these treasure hunters on it. They can figure out these clues. They can figure this out.
That would be a documentary I would watch.
Did you write those clues, Joe?
No.
For Mr. Fenn? Did you
No,
write
I
those
did not.
too?
Were you consulted at all?
No.
Did we find the medallion this year? I didn't even hear much conversation about it.
It got found.
Where'd you hide it, Joe?
Harriet Island.
Police in Louisiana.
I'm just going to play along with you.
You might as well.
It doesn't do any good.
Don't deny.
Don't.
Nobody believes you.
No.
Police in Louisiana say a woman came home to discover a naked stranger in her bathtub eating her Cheetos while taking a bath. A Monroe police affidavit said 29-year-old Evelyn Washington was arrested on burglary and property damage charges. The Fort Worth Star-Telegram says a responding officer found a full tub of water and a plate of food, along with the half-eaten Cheetos belonging to the victim on the toilet next to the tub. Washington told the homeowner and police that an unknown male had told her to break into the house and do all that stuff. Police say they found a tall ice chest under a broken window that she had apparently climbed up on to get in.
At 10 o'clock on Saturday nights, the St. Paul Pioneer Press would let the reception. We used to have a phone, they had an answer, and she would go home, and the calls at 10 o'clock on Saturday night would come to the sports
They'd
desk.
roll over. Okay, yeah.
So during the Winter Carnival, and we're slow learners. It took us about 5 years to figure this out. They would start calling, did they find the medallion on Saturday night? And we'd all say, no, they didn't find it. About 5 years later, one of us said, why don't we say yes? Then they won't call back.
Yep.
Then they won't call back anymore. So we started saying, yep, they got her.
They got her. They picked her right up.
Where? I don't know.
Over on Harriet Island.
Somewhere in Ramsey County.
Yeah, so for the next 15 years I was there. Yeah, they found it. It's gone.
And 6 days later, they'd find out it had just been found, and they got rid of their subscription to the paper because of that. And now look.
That wasn't our problem.
Who am I speaking with? This is Augie.
Why did they decide to roll the phones over to the sports desk of all
Only
places?
those
events.
people would be around late on a Saturday night.
To get games,
Scores and stuff.
Why does the phone have to be answered at all?
Because somebody might be calling in a score that,
I got you.
A study into the everyday stress and frustration of 2,000 Americans aimed to explore how much stress Americans take on and exactly how they deal with it. One way they deal with it? By swearing a lot. You might be one of 4 Americans who can't get past 9 a.m. without cursing.
Nobody
Well, the hell
around
you say.
here could be accused of doing that.
No.
Well, the majority of respondents say they swear before 11 in the morning.
Oh, hell, I'll go before 11.
The new survey found financial worry to be the biggest cause of stress and frustration among Americans, followed by stress contributors like not getting enough sleep, health concerns, and work. However, there are some things you may not expect that people would be stressed out about. For instance, 1 in 10 listed the environment as a source of stress and frustration.
That doesn't get me.
4% said the national deficit stresses them out.
It would if I thought about it.
The bar does get low in other areas, too. 52% of Americans in this poll said that slow Wi-Fi creates stress for them. That's not a deal.
What about newsmen taking the easy way out with really cheesy, cruddy stories that should never make it on the air? Is there any stress around
Does that
that?
stress you out, Kenny? You should just learn to roll with that one, I think.
Don't let that one bother you.
Learn to roll with that one.
Well, we're going to try to play where the guy says to the dude, "This one thing, dude, you have to swear so much."
I couldn't find it, though. I wasn't
Can't find it.
soon enough on the trigger.
To be your best every day, you need proven quality sleep every night. Science proves your best sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. And that's where the Sleep Number bed comes in. And let me tell you, ever since I've had it, My Sleep IQ score is just going higher and higher. And did you know 8 out of 10 couples say that one of them sleeps too hot or too cold? Science tells us regulating your sleep temperature leads to higher quality sleep. For many couples, temperature struggles are a real challenge. So here are some tips to help you both sleep just right. Look for beds designed with temperature benefits such as the new Sleep Number Climate 360 smart bed that actively warms and cools each side so you both sleep blissfully comfortable. And now save 40% on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition smart bed. Plus, special financing for a limited time. Only at Sleep Number stores or sleepnumber.com/podcast1. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the National Football League. Subject to credit approval, minimum monthly payments required. See sleepnumber.com for details.